guys? Keith, Gator Guy 231 here for a 9-game breakdown of the Bundesliga slate on Saturday. So going to do this a little differently than we have done before. So I'm actually going to kind of just do this as like I do my process when I'm getting ready for a slate. So we're going to look at odds. We're going to look at what the teams have to play for. This is the last game of the season. So there's some relegation battles and some Champions League spots up for grabs. I'm going to just look at initial pricing, get an idea of maybe some underpriced players or who we're going to maybe try to lock right away. And yeah, so that's what the plan today is. I'm still not going to try to go super long, hopefully 20 minutes or less. So last part, this is not the first 9-game slate. We happened last weekend. Not a lot of people played it because of English Premier League was at 10. But in our Discord chat, we had the first place winner, second place winner. I took 8th. Might have been somebody else in the top 10. So let's hope to repeat those. Anyhow, thank you so much for joining. Hit subscribe. Please join the channel. We got a lot of stuff coming your way. Like, comment, love all that stuff. Let's get into it. So let's look at odds. So first off, oh, sorry, wrong share. Let me just mention that for some reason the Gladbach line isn't up, but Gladbach is going to be a favorite, and they actually need to win to be into the Champions League. So they are going to be a fine place to target. So I just want to throw that out because Hertha isn't going to be playing for anything. So biggest favorite on the slate is Leverkusen minus 400. They are in a must-win situation too. They have to win to even have a shot. But if Gladbach wins, they're in. But anyhow, I'm assuming that Leverkusen will not let there be scores up. They don't want the players to know what's going on. Just push to hell. So that is one of the spots we want to look at. Gladbach, again, I'll have this updated by the time once the books show it. I just couldn't find it this morning. Werder Bremen is going to be another interesting one. Minus 166. They have to win to even have a shot at staying up. Freiburg minus 126. Let me just actually just real quickly look. Yeah, it's Fortuna that is the other one down here. Fortuna minus 108 at Berlin. They want to win as well. If they win, they stay in the league. Well, they actually get to play in a playoff versus the third team, which is pretty cool that Bundesliga does that. But yeah, so they're going to want to win too. The other I just want to kind of mention the big target that I want to look at is Paderborn's been so bad. So minus 322, Frankfurt at home. Frankfurt just absolutely can bullets teams, especially when they're better than, which, honestly isn't often the case. So minus 322, we get the god of Kostic in an absolute nut spot. Silva's been playing great. We've got Kamada, Dost, DaCosta, all these names. I think that you can really look at a full stack. So anyhow, before we go to DK pricing, I do want to go ahead and go into the sorry, I'm trying to get over to the standings here. But the little come on. Sorry, I swear oh, here we go. All right. Now I got it. All right, so let's look at the standings. Sorry about that. That was like me glitching or something over here. Anyhow, so Munich's won. They won the league. They're in. You still probably will see some of their regulars, but they already did mention that Odriozola, who I think is due back to Madrid at the end of the season. He's going to start right back over Pavard. Dortmund is clinched. They're second. Maybe we'll see some rotation. Leipzig, they're actually, I'm pretty sure they're clinched because of goal difference. So they're good. So, maybe they rotate a little bit as well. But here's the big battle. So Gladbach, if they win, they're in the Champions League. If they draw, I still believe that they're in. I think they're something like Bayern has to score 9 goals over somebody. But regardless, I think the big thing to realize is Gladbach and Leverkusen are going to be balls out for that UCL slate. Wolfsburg needs to win. They're playing Bayern though, so even though they need to win, I don't necessarily know that you just kind of load up. Hoffenheim is going to be pushing. Let me see if I remember. Hoffenheim. I hate these abbreviations. They're so much harder to figure out. So Hoffenheim is versus Dortmund. So again, maybe not someone we want to target, but they need to win. Freiburg, this whole mid-table is just locked up, and the only other battle is down here. Bremen, if they win and Fortuna loses, they get the 16th spot and they get to the home playoff leg. If they lose, they're automatically relegated. And, so there's the other two spots of teams that we absolutely know are going to be playing their butts off. Does that mean that other teams are not going to be playing their butts off? No, we've seen that in Premier League. Like, these are professional athletes. They don't really need motivation to go out there. So, there could still be plenty of stuff in the mid-table. Just want you to understand, like, those are the teams that are going to be absolutely, like, heart racing, like, they're playing for everything. Those are the spots. All right. So let's go into kind of just like, let's look at initial pricing and just see what sticks out. So I'm going to go down. Lewandowski, super expensive. And with Bayern not playing for 10, I don't think you have to spend it. 9 games. Like, here's the deal. Like, you can dodge a goal. Can you dodge a hat trick and still win GPP? Absolutely not. Could you dodge 2 goals? Potentially. Hat trick? No. 40 DK from Lewandowski? No. So if you want to play him GPP, sure. I don't think that you're going to have to do it. I'm probably just going to just avoid the Dortmund guys. If I had to do anybody, it would be Haaland because he can nab the goal. But the floors, like on Sancho, aren't great. Could we see a lot of these bigger guys without a lot playing for get rotated or sub early? Absolutely. So that's going to be something I want to stay away from. Lars Stindl scored 2 goals last game. God, 9K is a lot to spend on him. You need a goal. He's been splitting sets with Hoffman, but Gladbach doesn't generate a ton of sets, so I think that's steep. Werner 8,900 is interesting. I do kind of think I want to stay away from Werner because he pulled out of the Champions League. Remember, Leipzig's still in because of the sale to Chelsea, so I doubt he even plays. Andre Silva I really like here. Maybe not like as a cash play because he's goal dependent, but Frankfurt should just absolutely roll over Paderborn. And Silva just a high shot floor. So I like that. Herman, no. Vollen would be interesting if he starts as kind of their central striker. I think that they desperately need him. Leverkusen does. He's by far their best striker over what's the other guy's name? He's not very good. I'll see when I get down here. Let me see. Not Paulinho. Paulinho starts. That'd be interesting. He's a stud. Alario's not that great. But, 7K, if he starts for a central striker, that would work. You might want to see if Kai starts in the middle too. But he's only midfield. But, yeah, 8,300 for Vollen, good player. I like that. And Kunku, I guess if you want floor, 8,300, his price is getting a little bit more in check. Diaby, if you want to do like a stack, I think that makes a lot of sense for Leverkusen. Mark Uth, that's 6 out as like kind of your floor play with no Canes, 8,000. He's a lone player too. So, maybe he's trying to push for a permanent move so he doesn't have to go back to the disaster that is Schalke. I mentioned Paulinho. So Tommy, especially with them pushing to avoid relegation, we could see him really pushing the pace. 7,800 feels a little steep, but works. Weghorst, no, not versus Bayern. Leon Bailey. So especially if you see no Demir by, 7,500 would be on a majority of the Leverkusen sets. So I like that. And we do know that's a guy that can really just start pumping in crosses and pumping in shots. Grifo, that's a solid price versus Schalke. Schalke's just been a disaster and just don't expect them all to sudden to show up now. 7,300 works for him at home. Going down, if you see Dose start, maybe 7,100 just kind of sticks out as, I don't know, he just doesn't shoot a ton, but they could literally score 5 goals versus Paderborn. Skav not versus Dortmund, even though they're pushing. I don't, unless you see just an absolute, I think Blender had coined the term clown car lineup for Dortmund. I can't imagine paying for Skav on this slate. Look, there's probably some of these names that pop out, just not guys that like right away I'm just gravitating towards. So we start getting dark down here. Maybe it's Josh Sargent if you want like a YOLO, 5,400, or what's the other guy on their team? It's the Japanese guy. Let's see. Osaka, 6,600. That's tough. But yeah, I mean, he's been good lately. Antwi Adeji, I think that this is the time to jump off that train. They're so bad, and I don't think I think Frankfurt's just got it. I really want to watch that game. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to find it. It's probably not going to be the game on TV, but man, I expect that just to be very, very, very one-sided. Uh, I think the big thing down here is just if there's rotation, and we get, somebody maybe on a favorite starting for super cheap, it would work. But I don't see anybody down here that you're just going to hit the lock button on. So here is your lock button is Kostic. Even though, they're not playing for anything, I don't see a way that this is just not a one-sided affair. I think I just keep saying it over and over again, but that's your free square. And there is going to be like some defender values, maybe like a midfield value that will pop up, and I don't think you're going to have a problem fitting him. Kai, I do like. I think that there's a lot of upside there with Leverkusen needing this game. 8,800 is kind of a tough tag for a lack of a floor, but I do think that if you're making a couple lineups, you're going to want some Leverkusen stacks as the biggest favorite. Demirbay will be the popular way to get Leverkusen exposure. Knowing me and my cash ways, I'm probably going to end up there. Again, just a team that needs a win versus a team they're much better in. Minus 400 favorite. The basic DFS strategy normally is find the biggest favorite on the slate. They have a good total, which they do. Find their set taker, as long as it's within the range where they should be at. When you have, if you have João Moutinho in the EPL for like 10K, all right, that's a little out of control. But João Moutinho 7,500, biggest favorite on the slate. It's probably going to be where you're going to go in cash. You've got to lock in those floor points. So that would kind of fit where Demirbay is. Kimmich 7,700, I think, is fine. I just do worry about like how much Bayern really wants to go hard. Kimmich hasn't had, I think he's played every single minute or close to it since they've come back. So maybe, it's a day to get him like 60 minutes and then get off the field and preserve him for the Champions League. Like, that's the thing with Bayern too. You got to keep in mind they have Champions League. This league is wrapped up. I really don't know that they want to push their studs that hard. Amiri 7,300, probably only if you see no Bailey or Demirbay, but again, I don't see why you'd see that much rotation. Hoffman 7,200. I just want to point this out. God, he's been so good the last few games, 19 and 37. So the one thing I will just point out when you're looking at Hoffman is the last two, because of Thurman being out, who's out again, he's been playing in an advanced position. He hasn't been playing in that holding midfield role. He's been out wide. So you add that on top of the sets and, you get a lot more value. So, 7,100 might not be that bad for him. So that's going to be a guy I'm going to be looking at. Kamada 7K for GPP I really like. I don't think he'll be owned at all. So, maybe that Frankfurt stack that I'm definitely going to do is like Silva, Kamada, Kostic. Trimmel 6,900, really, really nice floor, takes all of their sets. Berlin, maybe they want to play a little bit of a spoiler and cause Dusseldorf some relegation sweats. So they're safe in the mid-table. So 6,900 for Trimmel. I think that's really, really solid, sticks out. If for some reason Bayern just had a clown car come out, then I think, Wolfsburg would actually be a really, really contrarian way to get some exposures. And Max Arnold at 6,800, that's way underpriced for him. But again, just look at that Bayern lineup. No, we don't need Max versus Leipzig. Bittencourt, 6,100. That's a really nice price for him and a must-win for them. Would at least be a split sets with either Friedel or Gustafsson, whoever starts at that left wing-back position, who I'm pretty sure at this point will be a lock. But we see Bittencourt start an advanced role. He probably split corners in 6,100. I think that I can get very on board. Cohn's defense since to come back. Them and Schalke, like they didn't come back from break. It's unbelievable. Like both of them are lucky that they were where they were in the standings, where they would really be on their way to relegation if there was that much more left. Stoger works 5,900 for a must-win spot. He and Tommy split, so they also seem to take a lot short, but 5,900 definitely works. Sorry, I know this is like absolutely thrilling YouTube television stuff here with me looking through, but this is kind of just how I go. I think this is probably how a lot of other DFS players look at a slate. You just start looking down, just trying to see if there's a pricing mistake or something that sticks out. Danny DaCosta 4,900. If he starts at that right wing back position, again, I'm giving away my cards. I just love Frankfurt here. 4,900. He's definitely nice. I don't think it'll ever happen. It's like my dream. It's just gone. But if Venice ever gets a start for Gladbach, it's not going to be here. It's just not. It can't be. Not in such an important game. But God, 4,800 would be so sweet. Probably move on to almost all their sets. It's going down. Rudy, 4,400, not versus Dortmund. Nah, we'll be okay. We can find something better. Evans, if you want to YOLO a shot, he's been good. Everton Looney, but the biggest thing this slate is you only get 8 on-field players. So I'm sorry, 7 on-field players. So make them count. Don't waste a spot here. You don't want to just punt off a guy that you don't think has any sort of upside. Traore, we saw get a random start. I don't think he would again, but 3,800 as a big favorite in a must win, that would be interesting. So that's somebody just to kind of keep on. Cuisance. So for some reason we didn't see Tremmel. We didn't see Kimmich. He'd probably move on to sets for Bayern. But if we don't see Kimmich, we're probably not seeing Lewandowski. We probably wouldn't see Moore. We probably wouldn't see Gnabry. So we'd probably see like the clown car. So do you actually want that many Bayern pieces? Like if it's like a Bayern youth team versus Wolfsburg, and if they announce their lineup already and it's not, like it's fine. But just keep that in mind. Like just because you see all this rotation on Bayern side, but if you see like their youth team versus Wolfsburg's full team, like don't flock to the Bayern pieces. Like that might be a phenomenal time to go contrarian, stack up Wolfsburg. They win like 4-0, and you ship everything. So just want to point that out. And watch, their lineup priority was like released, and I look like an idiot for even saying that. But you only live once. Palacios, not going to start. I don't even want to say it. Then Geiger, I guess he's been good when he's in, but it's just not a good matchup. Okay. Defender, there's going to be always a couple plays here. It's going to all depend on price, but Angelino 6,000 is fine. The Brozinski 5,600. God, that's going to be a hard one. Leverkusen's a must win. That's the biggest dog on the slate, but Brozinski, we just know he just produces. So I'm going to spend a lot of time on that. Like, I don't think he's a core play right now for me, but if you can fit him easily, like if he's close to one of the last guys in, I think you go. But I think you worry about the pieces with the upside and on the teams you want first, and then you just figure out if Brozinski can make it. Friedel starting, that would be close to lock for me. Just been awesome late. Look at these logs when he's been starting. 14.8, 9.6, 10.8, 14.7, 12.9, 11.8. On a team that needs to win, favorite at home, they're going to be pushing. Yeah, I can get fully on board that. Hopefully it's Augustinson, 4,800. We can save like another 700. That'll be split sets. Gunter, 5,400, I really like. Majority of sets. Well, splits with Grifo, but still plenty of open play value, especially if we see them as wingbacks. I think I can definitely get on board there. Odiozola is already, I did see somewhere confirmed to start, but I don't think 5,300 you need him. Let's go down. Mbabu, if you see that Bayern clown car, that would be a good way to get some Wolfsburg. Plattenhart's interesting, 4,200 versus Gladenbach, though. But, 4,200 is nice for a guy with some set share. Moray, I played him last week. He was 2,800. I think he got double digits for Dortmund playing as a wingback. Yeah, 12.6. It was nice. 2,700. It wasn't owned either. But if you saw somebody like that on Dortmund playing in an advanced position, like 4K, like we paid 7,000 and 7,500 for Hakimi and Guerrero, so why not pay 4K for defender eligible? Zipka, just don't fall for this. He's been playing center back, so even though he takes a couple corners, it's just not going to be what you want. Just going to show you. There's just so many names. Look for the fullbacks, but I want to look at a couple things. So Selasi's been great for them as they've been wing backs. So look for him. And then I just want to see the Leverkusen guys. Yeah, those are good prices. Wendell and Weiser. We saw them be more advanced and more offensive last week than we've seen for a really long time. So both under 5K, that's a good spot. So here's your free squares Kostic. I'm giving you one pick for watching. But I think I kind of did cover a lot of routes, what you need to look for. So I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you again for watching. Keep tuned for everything going on forward. with all the EPL. It's been great so far, and I'm looking forward to a strong finish. Guys, have a great day. Good luck tomorrow.